What is up, everybody? Rob here, back with another episode of Wasting Wildcards here on Multi5. This week, kind of just, in my world, all roads lead to Stompy. And sometimes you just want to play creatures on a curve and you just want to beat face. And if you've seen my only modern videos, they are all my super budget $20 Mono Green Stompy deck. And I don't think I've made a standard Mono Green Stompy deck, so I figured it'd be a good time to throw it out there, see how it does. So there's a lot of variations of the Stompy deck in standard right now. There is Mono Green, there's Simic, and there's Gruul, and you can probably basically make any color combination work. It's a pretty standard archetype, but the deck is based off of Pelt Collector, Steel Leaf Champion, Ghalta, and a slew of other supporting characters. And speaking of supporting characters, we got a new one in Barkhide Troll, which is a 3/3 for 2, and it basically, if you have mana up, it protects itself. So it's kind of the perfect kind of card to throw in this deck that doesn't really run anything with the exception of 3 Adventurous Impulses and 1 of the new Vivian that are non-creature spells. The new Vivian is pretty perfect for kind of a green beatdown deck. It makes your creatures bigger, it can get rid of pesky planeswalkers or creatures, and especially it just gives you trample. This particular deck is not taking advantage of its -5 at all. I think that would be a very specific toolboxy kind of creature deck, and that's not what this deck is trying to do. So we're really just utilizing the +1 and the -3. The one of God Eternal Ronus is to just friggin' go over the top and destroy the turn it's played, and you got the Big Daddy on top, and I feel like everybody knows what Ghalta is all about. Sideboard is pretty standard for green. I have 1 Shaper Sanctuary against decks like Grixis or Burn or something that runs a lot of targeted removal spell. 3 Veil of Summers, which is another new great kind of sideboard card against things like Esper, Mono Blue, it's really good against Esper, so that's kind of where it's here. Got 3 Crawl Harpooners against anything that's heavy with flyers, so like that new Spirits deck or Mono Blue, or just anything where I feel like, I just need the reach. 1 of Sorcerer's Spyglass against another kind of Super Friends deck. It's good to just kind of easily and colorlessly get rid of a Planeswalker or something that you just can't really deal with. I have 2 Archers, which were just kind of holdovers from when Mono Blue was everywhere, but I feel like it's kind of on a resurgence, so, that's kind of why that's here. I have 1 additional Ferox against any kind of discard-heavy deck. Occasionally you run into something that's running like Davriel, and that's just insane. We got 2 Shifting Ceratops in the sideboard, which potentially could be a main deck card over Vinemare. I'm not sure if I don't know if the hexproof is better than the protection from blue and the other stats, but we'll see. And then 2 big Vivians for like the control matchup. Something where that's a little grindier and I just need to be able to get on the board, maybe destroy some enchantments, and just, get some card advantage. So we're going to run this through some best of 3 standard. Now, I'm only in Platinum, so I'm not playing against the best people in the world here, but... So this is kind of a tricky thing here. So I think this is definitely a keep, but it's kind of like, do I play the Llanowar Elves and hope to maybe play a Barkhide plus an Adventurer on turn 2? Do I risk this getting blown up and then I'm a turn behind? I think in a deck like this, you need to get out aggressive early. So I think I want to go Llanowar first. Hope they're not playing Shocks. Come on here, come on. All right. I like that. And I really like that. So let's go Barkhide Troll into an Impulse, get our 3rd land, and we're in pretty good shape. So let's see if we're playing like a mirror here or if they're going to throw it down. Okay. So this is probably Teamer Elementals or Simic or Sultai. Ooh, or Bant. Risen Reef is kind of the hot new card from M20. It's pretty friggin' busted. This card gets so out of hand, so stupidly fast, that it's hard to catch up. So I think we just want to get as much power on board as possible. I will absolutely trade my Llanowar Elf here. Alright, let's look at land. Don't need more elves. Alright. Value Town away. So this is the kind of situation where the new Vivian is great against a bunch of 1/1s. So he's a little better than a 1/1, but like, look at this insane ramp, insane card draw for friggin' uncommon. Like this card is so busted. Alright, well, Bronzodons aren't exactly pulling the cat here. I'm trying to think of what this deck could be running. It's kind of like their finisher. Are they just trying to do strictly Bant ramp? Or I guess I probably should have held back with this maybe and cast Thorn Lieutenant, or I mean I can protect a Bark Hydrol right now if I want to, or blow up an enchantment. Both of which probably won't need to happen, but at least I have the mana available to do so. That is problematic.
Witness the ties that bind us all.
Opponent's board is getting wildly out of control here.
Sorry I'm late.
Alright. Can't do anything about that. So luckily they haven't played anything like huge. That's like a real problem. They're basically just getting their supporting pieces. If we could get Trample going, we'd be at least in medium shape. Oh man, so many trolls. So many trolls. Yeah, so many. I think we just keep going to the face. So we have 2 turns before Nissa ultimates. They're most likely just going to keep jumping. I think we kind of fell pretty far behind with the Risen Reefs coming out. This looks probably like a Hydra coming out.
The land fights for us.
I don't know why else they would have taken the 2 from the shock land. Man, Risen Reef really making these big dumb green creatures look pretty unimpressive. Yep. That's a 10-10 Flying Trampler. Nope, that's a 16. Holy crap, I forgot about Nissa.
I've got it.
That's a lot of mana. Alright. I don't think we're gonna get where we want to go. Okay, so targeted removal is not going to do anything. Ooh, I guess Pro Blue. Yeah, get out of here, Vine Mare. I think this is probably just a better move than Vine Mare in general. Maybe a Spyglass, get rid of one of their Planeswalkers. Man. Brontodon, Ferox maybe. Let's try this. Maybe Stompy's day in the sun is over. Is that even the phrase? A day in the sun, day in the light. Similar effect as last time. We got the choice. I think this time we'll at least do it because we still have 2 plays on turn 2. But I mean, what this deck really wants to do is a turn 2 Steel Leaf Champion. A turn 2, essentially unblockable for the first couple turns of the game, is exactly what you want to do in this deck. And that's exactly what we're going to do. So, turn 2, they can probably play some little, I don't know, little turds. And we're going to be able to bash in for at least 2 turns. And the second time, we'll have a backup. So I feel pretty good about this. I'm going to turn 2 and turn 3, 5, 4. That can't be blocked by any of their little creatures. It's pretty good. We can do 4 mana here. Alright, that's fine. Can't block still. Still fine. Alright, so we can attack with everything, trade elves off, which I don't think is the smart move. Galta was a pretty damn good draw. It's a fairy. Cavalier of Thorns, Nissa. So Nissa is the most problematic, I would say. Teferi is annoying for sure, but ooh, baby. So let's see, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They could go Cavalier or Teferi. Cavalier blocks 1, and they lose. Teferi bounces 1, then they can't block. So I'm not sure exactly what the move would be here. Maybe make some... Finale Glory tokens don't do it. No, it's still not... I don't know if they have it. I think Steel Leaf Champion's little sneaky can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less is gonna do it. Alright, so there you go. You want to beat down, you gotta start beating down early. Alright, so... it kind of messes our curve up, but maybe getting rid of Brontodon for just 2 more Feroxes. Just something that's hard for them to interact with. Or maybe bring the Vine Bearers back in. This way we can at least cast non-creature spells if we need to. And it's still bigger than everything they play. Except Cavalier. But it doesn't get bounced. I don't know, let's try it out. Cavalier of Thorns is a pretty cool card. Doesn't really fit in Stompy, but... So this is an interesting hand. Got a decent curve. None of our kind of super impactful top end, but... Turn 1 Elf into turn 2 Pelt Collector Growth Chamber Guardian. That's a pretty good little board state on turn 2. You can either evolve it or... that's what I want. That is what I want. Not going to be as impactful because this is turn 2. They could have turn 2... they can't play Little Elemental. That is rad. Got no blue. So our opponent's kind of stuck on mana. If they don't have a blue source, they're going to have a pretty bad time trying to keep up. That's what it's looking like. So... go Spell Collector, do Steel Leaf Champion, and we're throwing some Galthas down next turn if our opponent can't do anything. That's a-okay with me, my friend. Smash that space bar. I wonder what they could have in their deck. Bant decks are tricky. They could play even like that time wipe. There's... Alright, well... nothing that can deal with... is that turn 4 or 5? Alright, yeah, there you go. Stompy. Still stomping. Ooh, and it was a rare I already have. Nice. Alright, so let's go to the deck again. What were we saying? Instead of Vine Mare main deck, maybe we want the Ceratops. Yeah, let's go put the Ceratops in there. And then sideboard, maybe we don't even want the hexproof creature. Maybe we want something a little spicier. Something our opponent wouldn't expect. I mean, Rabid Bite's pretty good to get rid of opposing creatures. Maybe we just want something like that, just some like generic removal. Nothing else here really seems like it's kind of what we want. Get real weird with it, you know. Throw some Reclamation Sages in there. Throw some Vivians to play shit at instant speed. Yeah, I think maybe just throw in a couple Rabid Bites in there. Let's try that. That way when we play against something like Burn or something, we can get rid of the Runaway Steamkins or just some other problematic creature. Against like Gruul decks or something that has creatures that are slightly smaller than us, we can get that done. Alright, not a bad draw. Turn 3, we can evolve a bunch of Pelt Collectors. This is probably going to die. But it took a burn spell out of their hand, so... okay. The attack of the 1/1s. Guess we could run this out and really hope a Chain Whirler doesn't come down. It doesn't seem that they're going to be running Chain Whirler if it's a Calamity deck, but... Okay, interesting.
Won't lie.
This does make 1/1s, right?
Say hi to my fiery
Oh,
friends.
that's a pretty cool deck building. I'm not going to block that shit. Seen some really cool stuff with Chandra and Priest of the Forgotten Gods, where you make the elementals and then you just sacrifice them with the priest at the end of your turn. Some pretty cool recurring sacrifice fodder.
I'm burnt out.
I like that though. That's a fun little interaction. I feel like this Chandra, it fits in so many decks doing like super interesting things. It's not stuff that I would have necessarily expected. There's a lot of cool stuff in this Calamity deck now. Alright, so it looks like our opponent's pretty much out of gas already. I could blow up the Cavalcade, but I don't really care at this point. Yeah. A couple creatures, it's gonna deal 3 damage to me if I don't block. Yep. Playing a light up the stage for full price never feels good. Huh? Why? And I guess this would just make that evolve. I mean, I'll definitely trade here. Once that thing's dead, our opponent doesn't have anything. I mean, we don't have anything either, but at least we're bashing into 5 every turn. The mono red decks I've been seeing lately have been very bizarre. They're running a bunch of creatures that I feel like... I mean, this makes sense in this specific deck, but a lot of the red decks I've seen have been running, like, what is it, Ember Hauler, and just a lot of big... Or not big, but just like, I don't know. Is that really better than some of the other burn spells you could be playing? I don't know. I think mono red is in an interesting place. It's always going to be good as long as Runaway Steamkin and Experimental Frenzy exist, as well as Shock and Lightning Strike, and just the slew of generic burn spells. Why would... what? Okay. Well, our opponent's deck definitely has no shortage of very small, annoying blockers. So we're going to get a block and a throw. Whew, almost then throwing the troll down. You never know. Can never be too safe. You need all the creatures. So I feel our opponent's deck is strictly terrible against my deck of just infinite blockers. Wow, what a weirdly amazing card against this deck. A 1/4 that kills anything on entrance. That's kind of all we need. I guess, yeah, Gulta's fun. Ferox is big and hard to kill. I guess, yeah, Brontodons again. I mean, Calamity's annoying, but do we really need to blow it up? Maybe we just don't need God Eternal or a Gulta. Go down to top end. All right, this is risky because we know what our opponent's playing. You're on the draw though, and if we draw a second forest, we are in very good shape. Hey, look at that. So, no matter what, we're going to have a turn 2 Barkhide. And honestly, is a turn 2 Steel Leaf just like game over for this deck? I think it is. Literally no creature in their deck can block it. I guess it could sideboard a bunch of lava coils. All right. That's fine. At least we know. All right. Interesting. I guess we just play the biggest blocker we got. I guess that's a pretty good main deck card. I feel like on upkeep, pinging that would have probably been a pretty good move. I'm using the elf just in case in response to anything they kill it. I want to be able to double skull here this turn. Don't plan on attacking with the Llanowar elf anyway. So they could block it, kill the elf. This is another really cool interaction. So you attack with the Spitfire, the Calamity triggers, this gets pumped. Another cool interaction. That's up fast. Seven. That is pretty nuts. That is pretty nuts indeed. Are we just gonna lose this turn? Yeah, I don't have enough mana to block this. This channel Spitfire is gonna be fucking huge. That is super rad. Props to my opponent and or whoever came up with this, because that is fucking awesome. Good game. That's really cool. Yeah, so Cavalcade of Calamity got pretty big buff in this set. So Definitely want the Harpooners now that I know that that's in here, and the Rabid Bite. Because that card is super problematic for us. Get rid of the Brontodons. Don't really need that. Keep the Feroxes. And maybe go down 1 just so we can cast our... Vivian makes it fight. Gold is good, but I don't think it's the end of Vivian. Let's just try to keep our curve low and big. All right, we will play first. Turn 1 Collector into turn 2 Lieutenant or Chamber Guardian. That's a pretty okay hand. Turn 1 Shock would be always a bummer. Alright. So let's go Growth Chamber Guardian. That way we can start adapting pretty early. Our opponent's got something. Alright, no turn to Calamity. Let's go Throwing Lieutenant. That way, if they got any removal, we at least get a dude out of it. What a perfect draw. Alright, well, there it is. Another swift victory. Yeah, that wasn't that swift. But I gotta say, Chandra's Spitfire and Cavalcade Calamity is a pretty awesome interaction. I'm probably gonna have to build a deck like that. But there you go. I mean, at least in Platinum, Mono Green Stompy still doing the thing. If this is a deck that you built back in the day, the only real new additions that are rare that I added are the Shifting Ceratopses and the Vivian. Other than that, it's all older sets. The sideboard, the new cards are just like uncommons. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm the biggest Timmy around. I love big green creatures. I love stomping. I love beating fancy decks with a turn 1, a turn 2, and a turn 3 creature. And yeah, Steel Leaf Champion, proven itself rad in Modern and in Standard. So thank you guys for watching. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe and like our videos. And as always, this was Wasting Wildcards on Multi 5.